Oh hey, how's it going? My name's Jeff, aka SonOfMar, PlayStation Network, and XO PlayStation. Wow, that intro is a little rough. I feel like I've been talking a lot lately. Oh wait, yeah, I did because I've done 3 episodes today. Oh, yeah, I've done all these E3 episodes back to back pretty much. Because I wanted to just get them off my head while I'm talking about it and thinking about it and whatnot. Anyway, today's episode is on PlayStation. So this one might be a little bit longer than some of the other ones I've done. Mainly because there might be a lot more that comes up in my head as I'm talking. So PlayStation for E3 the last few years has been solid and fantastic. It really has. They've done a great job of showing new IPs, balancing their lineup, all that jazz. They've really gotten people hyped. They've had just great momentum for the most part. And I feel like this year's gonna be no different. I really do. I think. Well, the obvious choices for who's gonna be at E3 and who's not. Let me say who's not gonna be there right off the bat. God of War will not be at E3. It will be at PlayStation Experience. The reason why is because there's no reason for God of War to be shown off at E3. There really isn't. I think it'll be the headliner for PlayStation Experience once it's further along in development, once it's further along just being made, and once there's more to show of it. It's kind of the same thing with The Last of Us. It's just The Last of Us is going to get pushed off to the side, not really shown, not really talked about. That's just how it's going to be. And honestly, the same could be said for a few other games. But I do have my theories on that they are going to be at E3. I'll get to those here in a moment. So God of War definitely won't be there. Last of Us definitely won't be there. That's my opinion, sure, but I feel like they're not. What will be there? The marquee title is actually going to be split into two. Sucker Punch, with their brand new IP, whatever they're working on, whatever is going to get shown off and whatnot, that is going to be the marquee main title that's going to be shown at the game. At E3. It's going to be the thing that is going to be highlighted the most, and it's going to be the thing that they're going to promote the most, right? Again, my opinion, but that's just how I'm feeling it. Like that's what happened with Guerrilla Games when they first shown off Horizon. Like they were the game of the show. So Sucker Punch is going to really have their opportunity to show off their brand new game. They're going to be kind of the same thing with like The Last of Us for its announcement at PlayStation Experience. It's going to have its main event moment. Especially since, at this point in time, if I take a guess, Sucker Punch's new game will release sometime in 2018. Potentially late 2018, but 2018. At the latest, mid-2019. But I think it'll hit 2018 along with God of War. And there's a theory that The Last of Us is going to hit in 2018 as well. I don't know if it could, but I feel like that game along with Death Stranding are both going to come out in 2019. But they could hit 2018 as well. It kind of depends, I guess, on how long Sony wants to perpetuate the PS4 lifecycle. The theory is that 2019-2020 is when the PS4 sequel, the successor, PS5, will come out. And the rumor is that the internal devs right now are looking to make it substantial compared to the Scorpio. The theory is that it's going to knock some socks off when it does release, but that's potential, that's rumors. I don't want to really substantiate too much on rumors for PlayStation or really anything, but I do like to bring them up just to kind of talk about a little bit. But anyway, I think Sucker Punch is definitely going to reveal what game they're working on, what it's going to kind of be. There won't probably be actual gameplay. It'll probably be just an announcement trailer, kind of like The Last of Us. It'll show off like general tidbits of what the game's going to look like, but it's not going to be actual gameplay right away. I think that might get saved for the following E3. But I've been wrong. Guerrilla Games, their first time showing off Horizon, that was gameplay. So maybe they will do gameplay. I don't know. It might be smart for them to do gameplay first and then do story trailers intermittently the following year. Just give a general concept of this is what we're doing. So who knows? And I've already talked about my theory on why I think Sucker Punch is working on potentially. So if you want to know my theory on that, go to the Sucker Punch episodes, watch those, give those a view and whatnot, and yeah, you'll be caught up to date on what I think of that. And going forward for the next few weeks, I'm gonna definitely do more episodes on all the studios first party wise with Sony, along with a lot of the close relationships second party wise. Studios like Insomniac and From Software. But anyway, speaking of From Software and Insomniac, I do think at E3 we will be getting Spider-Man gameplay. I think we will officially be getting an announcement that Sunset Overdrive will be coming back, and it will be on PlayStation along with Xbox. I think that is a thing. Because Insomniac's a big studio. And then I think From Software will come out and announce that they're working on a new Armored Core that will be integrated with VR, and it's going to be sick. And I think they'll also officially announce Bloodborne 2, but that won't be released until 2018. So essentially, they won't show anything for Bloodborne 2, but they will announce it officially. I think we're going to get some more Ni no Kuni. I think they're going to do basically a sizzle reel of the Japanese games. I think Ni no Kuni will get more of a highlight when they do, not Gamescom, TGS. So I think TGS is when we're really going to see a lot of like Yakuza and Ni no Kuni and whatnot. So if you guys really want to like know more about those games, I think that's when we're going to get more information about those. But otherwise, we're going to get a sizzle reel of like, here's when these games are going to generally come out. So Ni no Kuni, I think it's going to hit later this year. I think it's going to come November 2017, and I think it's going to be incredible. I really do. I think we're going to get an announcement of when Gran Turismo is going to come out, along with an official open public beta when E3 happens. I think that'd be smart. I think if they announce, hey, this game's coming out in October, we're going to do a beta for it in July, and then we're going to see what you think of it, and it's going to have VR, this is how the VR is going to work, blah, blah, blah. That'd be sick. Because I think Gran Turismo hasn't really been talked about enough, and I think it hasn't had the limelight it should. But I think sport is its chance to really come back and shine. So hopefully they take advantage of that and really capitalize on how amazing Gran Turismo used to be and how it can still be amazing. So I think Gran Turismo is going to get a section of the show, but not a ton. It's not, because sadly those games sell extremely well. They do, but they also don't need that much space to be talked about. They don't need to get hype. People know what Gran Turismo is. It's kind of like Forza. You don't need to hype those games. Everyone knows what they are by this point. What really needs to happen is it needs to get good press. It doesn't need to have a great E3 appearance. It needs to have good buzz surrounding E3 after the fact from players. I think if there's anything Sony can learn as of right now, it needs to learn from Neo and Destiny, but specifically Neo. If a studio can approach betas correctly and really truly take feedback correctly, they can make their games not only significantly better, but they can prove to their audience that, hey, this game's worth a shit. So I think they need to do that. They need to do an actual beta after the one that's happening right now for Gran Turismo, so that the franchise can get kind of a new breath and that PlayStation fans can get really on board with it. But again, that's what I think, that's what I hope, blah, 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 blah. And enough about Gran Turismo. So, what else is on the table? What else can Sony show off? Because if they're not going to show off God of War, they're not going to show off The Last of Us 2, what else is there? Days Gone, Detroit. I do think both of those are going to be there. I think Detroit is finally going to get a gameplay reveal of what it's going to play like and everything. It's going to have a quick reel, don't get me wrong, but they're going to finally show it off, and I think it's going to finally get a release date. Days Gone is also going to get a release date, and it's going to get a new gameplay segment that's going to show off the open world and the mission structure, and it's going to show off the different side of Days Gone, along with the improvements, and also a new release date. That's where I think, that's where I think Sony Bend's going to be. I think that's where Quantic Dream's going to be for both those games. They're going to show off their games. They're going to each take about a decent chunk. I think Quantic Dream will probably take about 5 minutes to kind of show off the gameplay of the game, but they don't really show off too much. I think at this point, it just needs to get out into the wild. I think it's going to have an official announce date of potentially October, November. Sony Ben's game, it might come out instead of Quantum Dream at that time, but who knows? Because the really where I think both those games are at, they're both kind of along the same level of development wise, but they need to figure out. At least I need to figure out which one's further along because I haven't seen any of the gameplay of Quantum Dream's game, and it's been in development for like 4 years now. And Ben's game has been in development for 3 years and some change, something like that. They've been, and I'm gonna get into what they've been up to in the specific topic episode when I get to them. But I hope that Sony Ben's game hits relatively within the next 6. It'd be nice if it hits November, October, but if it doesn't, and Quantum Dream's game hits that mark, which I do think it will. My hope is that Days Gone will hit in like January, February, and then God of War will hit March or April. That's my hope, but you never know. But I mean, there's a lot of games that Sony can talk about because on top of that, they could talk about House Marquis' game. They could talk about a lot of different games now, but there's also PlayStation Experience, and again, PlayStation Experience is when I think. Really digging into it, that'd probably be the best time to talk about, House Marquis' game. That's the best time to talk about, all the Housemarque games, such as, all their projects, right? And I think that'd be the best time for them to talk about a number of other games that are in the pipe, that normal fans might not talk about, such as Ni no Kuni or Yakuza or, a lot of games like that. Because there's a lot like that are in the pipe that casual fans might not care about. Because Destiny 2 is definitely, I think, going to have a big impact on the Sony conference because they were partnered on Destiny 1. So they're going to be there too. Really, Sony's conference is going to be really busy. I do think Battlefront 2 will be on Xbox. I think that's where that's going to be. Call of Duty will probably show up potentially at Sony's conference along with Destiny. I could see both of those being at Sony's conference. The new Assassin's Creed, I think, will be at Xbox. I think that's how it's being divvied up for the most part. I just hope that PlayStation doesn't focus as much on Destiny as they used to. I hope that they kind of learn their lesson by over showing it. Hell, they almost did that with Horizon in a way. So hopefully they learn their lesson about restraint, and it seems like they are so far. And that's why I think God of War will show up at PlayStation Experience, along with a number of other games. So we'll see. And to kind of get back to Days Gone and Detroit, it wouldn't surprise me to see whichever one's going to hit. My thinking is that whichever one's going to hit in October or November, because I do think one of those is going to hit, they will have a big presence at E3, whereas the other one's going to get talked about, but it's going to really get exemplified over in the PlayStation Experience. And then that's going to release sometime in the first quarter of 2018. So really the lineup right now for PlayStation could be really fucking strong. The only thing is that now we're getting to the point where we know what everyone's working on. So Sucker Punch is really the only one that we're not really sure what they're up to. And so we're kind of getting to the point where we know pretty much where everything's happening. We just need to figure out when everything's going to hit, and we need more information on a lot of the games. So Sony's kind of at a comfortable point where they're just like, we just need to show off what we've got right now. Sucker Punch is really the only one we don't really know what they're up to. And one last game, Dreams. I don't think Dreams will be at E3. It might be at PlayStation Experience. But I don't think Dreams will be at E3, mainly because I think that game is in some type of trouble. And I think it's going to be on its own little island where they need to finish that game internally and just figure out what the fuck they want to do with it. But I think that game's not going to be talked about for a while. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's quietly fucking, ended. I wouldn't be surprised about that because that game has had a lot of issues. It has a lot of promise. It has a lot of cool shit about it, but also just has not been received very well. So, I don't know. But like I've said this entire episode, PlayStation has a very busy lineup, I think. They're going to be just as good as previous years. Really, it's going to be about what they show and what they decide to push off the PlayStation Experience. So, hope you guys like this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are doing fantastic, and have a great day. Thanks.